Right now at 6, under arrest for a Christmas Eve stabbing that left one man dead and a neighborhood rattled. Plus,
there are currently 9 different Shigella strains being tracked by the health department.
The new data from officials that helps put the spread of a dangerous illness into perspective. Then, new year, new laws when it comes to tackling our housing and addiction crises. And later,
it's the first time you see a whale, you want to see more.
Expert advice on how to catch a first-hand glimpse of this great migration. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Let's get right to breaking news in Southeast Portland, where police have been involved in a shooting just east of I-205 near what used to be Mall 205. Alma McCarty's been at the scene for just over the past hour. Alma, what are you learning tonight?
David, we are still waiting to hear more specific details about this police shooting from the Portland Police Bureau. We're expecting to speak with them in just a little bit of time, but we did change vantage points from where we were at 5 o'clock. Take a look behind me. A lot of the scene, which is now expanded, is focused in on this T-Mobile store and the road between the T-Mobile store and the AT&T store here, again, around the Mall 205 area. This is right by the Target. Over the past hour, I should say, we've seen lots of investigators going in and out of that T-Mobile store, dozens of patrol cars plus fire and EMS also on scene here. More officers showing up over time, and the mobile command center also here as well. Now, Portland Police, they are calling this an officer-involved shooting investigation, as you can see, currently underway in the Hazelwood neighborhood. The first call came in before 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, officers say that this scene and the subsequent closures around here, it's of course affecting traffic around Mall 205. Southeast 96th Avenue is closed between Southeast Washington Street and Southeast Main Street, and a good portion of the parking lot, this Mall 205 parking lot, is closed as well. Now, this investigation, the police presence, and the closures here expected to last for several more hours. PPB says that there are no reported injuries of police officers and tells us that more additional information will become available shortly. Again, we are waiting to speak with someone from the Portland Police Bureau to learn more about what is going on here so that we can share it with you. Coming up on KGW News at 11. For now, live in Southeast Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Thank you, Alma. And of course, we'll have that update at 11, plus updates on our social media channels. Of course, anytime at kgw.com as those updates come in. Well, now to a couple of developments on some key stories we have been following this evening. First, Portland police have announced they have arrested a suspect in connection with a deadly stabbing on a Max platform on Christmas Eve. Police say around 6:30 Sunday night, 23-year-old Juan Francisco Orellana Gavarreta got into some sort of altercation and was stabbed. Officers found him on the Max train at the Goose Hollow station at Jefferson and 18th. He later died at the hospital. Now, police say they spotted the suspect, 22-year-old Idel Cruz Aragon, in southwest Portland yesterday and took him into custody. That's a photo from police from that moment. He's now charged with second-degree murder. Also in Portland, we have new information tonight about a hit-and-run Christmas Day that left a pedestrian dead. This was just after midnight Monday at Southeast Stark and 106. Now, within the last couple of hours, police released a surveillance image of what they are calling the suspect vehicle. This is it, a maroon crew cab Dodge pickup. They say it's a late 2000 to mid 2010 model. Will have a busted headlight on the driver's side and some front end bumper damage. If you see the truck similar to that one or have any information on the crash, you are asked to call Portland Police. All right, a little bit further to the east, John Adams joins us live along Stark Street in Gresham, where there has been a significant development in another hit and run involving a pedestrian, this one the day after Thanksgiving. John, walk us through what you know tonight.
Yeah, David, I'm here near 192nd and Stark in Gresham, where Gresham police say a person was hit and critically injured by a driver who then fled the scene in late November. And we're just finding out today from Gresham police that the person that was hit died from their injuries last week. Now, police say this happened around 6 in the evening on November the 24th. That's when 72-year-old Randolph James Stitt of Vancouver was struck by a vehicle and thrown 70 feet from that impact. On December the 20th, Stitt died from his injuries in a hospital. The vehicle that hit him fled the scene, and police are still looking for that driver. I spoke with businesses on this stretch of road who tell me it's common for cars to travel too fast here. One person even told me they've seen several accidents happen here lately.
In the last few months, we've had probably 3 or 4 car accidents right in front of our clinic here. A lot of horn honking from cars darting in and out of traffic, and we have a lot of pedestrians who run across. There's a concrete median in the road there, and so pedestrians constantly are running across there.
Again, Gresham police are still looking for that vehicle that hit Randolph Stitt on November the 24th. It was described by witnesses as a mid-sized SUV, possibly light in color. And David, if anyone has information on where that vehicle might be or the whereabouts of the driver, you are urged to contact the Gresham PD.
Yeah, John Adams reporting in Gresham tonight. Thank you, John. Let's get to your headlines this evening now, starting with some video we want to show you of a crash caught on camera in Central Oregon. This is on Highway 20 near Subtle Lake yesterday. Several emergency vehicles were already pulled over to help a car that had slid off the road in the ice. That is when a commercial truck slid into the back of an Oregon State Police cruiser. There it is at the very left of the screen, and then comes to a halt against the ambulance. There was a patient inside there along with 3 medics, but nobody was hurt. The driver of the truck was cited for careless driving. Police say they hope this serves as a reminder to slow down in both icy conditions and when you see first responders. A reminder tonight that TriMet fares will be going up in 2024. This is the first time the agency has raised its rates in more than a decade. TriMet says the increase is because of higher operating costs. So we have the breakdown for adults on your screen. 2.5-hour tickets going up 30 cents. Adult all-day passes going up by 60 cents. Monthly passes, those are going to stay the same. By the way, you can ride TriMet for free after 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Max trains are going to run past 2 in the morning. Good option for you. Power has largely been restored this evening after strong winds knocked out electricity to some 11,000 customers across the metro area. This was a roadblock earlier today on Canyon Road in Beaverton and in Northeast Portland's Culling neighborhood. Power lines were down over cars with tree branches also causing a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, strong winds in Washougal toppled a number of trees, including a large one that landed on a house. Nobody was hurt, but you can see, of course, it did some damage to the roof there. PG reporting less than 500 customers remain without power. Matt?
Well, David, the good news is those strong east winds that we had early this morning are backing off. They're backing way off. We still have them in and near the gorge, but they're not nearly as strong. East at 17 at the airport, 46 degrees. Still a few showers out there, but look at these wind gusts we had in the early morning hours. No surprise we had power outages. Crown Point, a gust of 84. Corbett 80, but even Troutdale had gusts over 50 miles an hour. The I-205 Glen Jackson Bridge 45 miles an hour, and the West Hills bit earlier had a gust of 39 miles an hour. So yes, those are damage causing winds that we had. Luckily, it didn't last all that long, and they've really backed off now, and they'll continue to do that. They haven't disappeared, though. Still east winds in Troutdale at about 21. Portland Airport, as we mentioned, and over at Crown Point and Corbett, we still have some gusts in the 35, 45 mile an hour range. So it's still strong, but not damage causing strong. Elsewhere, the winds are much, much lighter. And the rain is backing off, too, such as it was. We had a little burst of rain this morning, but since then, it's just been scattered showers. We've got scattered showers over the area right now. We'll continue to see that for the next 18 hours or so. And the east winds will continue to weaken. Mild temperatures remain and showers Saturday. Otherwise, a lot of dry weather as we roll into 2024. More on that in a bit, David.
Yeah, it sounds like pretty smooth sailing. Thanks, Matt. We have some new information now from Multnomah County health officials on the rise of a contagious illness in the Portland area. They are seeing an increase in the spread of a bacterial infection known as Shigella, which started with a public health warning in Portland's Old Town neighborhood. Let's bring in Daisy Caballero in the newsroom. Daisy, how serious is this and how can people protect themselves?
Well, David, health officials say the most common ways these infections happen is if someone gets Shigella on their hands and then actually touches their mouth. But as long as people are mindful of washing their hands, they say there isn't a greater threat to the general public. We're told those most at risk are houseless people and same-sex male partners. As of yesterday, there have been 40 45 confirmed cases throughout Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties. And to be clear, this isn't a new infection in our region. Health officials have been tracking these cases in Portland since 2012 and say Portland sees at least 100 cases every year, with an increase in infection every 2 to 4 years. Here's why health officials say there isn't a greater threat beyond those at-risk groups.
We have not seen cases of folks in the general public who have acquired infection that we can't explain. Most of the cases that we're seeing are associated with sexual activity and some with travel. So we do not have any cases that would point us to a risk to the general public.
And health officials say there is no clear geographic pattern on where these cases are, adding these infections are not limited to Old Town or downtown Portland. Now, symptoms include diarrhea, fever, stomach cramps, and sometimes vomiting, and can last 3 to 10 days. David?
Yeah, some important new context there. Thank you, Daisy.